The awakening. The cryopod hissed open, and Captain Maya Rice gasped as recycled air filled her lungs. It tasted artificial, processed, wrong. Her muscles screamed in protest as she forced herself to sit upright, her vision swimming with disorientation. "Status report," she croaked, her voice rough from disuse. "Why am I awake?" The holographic interface of Atlas, the Phoenix's AI system, materialized before her. "Captain Rice, you have been in cryostasis for 172 years, 8 months, and 14 days. Maya's blood turned to ice. "That's impossible. The journey to Kepler 438 bits was calculated at 40 years maximum." "There was an incident," Atlas replied, its voice modulation betraying an unusual hesitation. "The Phoenix encountered an anomaly at the edge of the Orc cloud. Navigation systems were compromised." "The colonists?" Maya asked, immediately thinking of the 5,000 souls entrusted to her care. The last verified survivors of humanity after the Scythian purge had rendered Earth uninhabitable. "All cryopods remain functional. Your early revival was triggered by Protocol Omega." Maya froze. Protocol Omega was embedded in the ship's most classified subroutines, to be activated only upon detection of certain specific conditions. Contact with other human survivors or evidence that the official history of Earth's destruction was falsified. "Show me," she commanded. The holographic display expanded, filling the revival chamber with light. Maya's breath caught in her throat. The image showed a familiar blue-green sphere, not the scorched, irradiated wasteland she had witnessed in her nightmares for years, but a living, thriving planet. Earth, impossibly alive. "This can't be real," she whispered. The Scythians' quantum cascade bombs were designed to render Earth uninhabitable for millennia. Nothing could survive that level of radioactive decay. "The evidence suggests otherwise," Atlas replied. "Long-range scans detect extensive terraforming activity. Atmospheric composition indicates deliberate rehabilitation beginning approximately 70 years ago. However, the biological signatures are not human." Maya stared at the hologram, her shock crystallizing into something harder, colder. "They lied to us. The Scythians told us Earth was beyond saving, that they were granting us mercy by allowing some to escape." She struggled to her feet, muscle memory returning as she made her way to the command terminal. "Wake Dr. Eliza Chen from Medical and Commander Daryl Okafor from Security. Priority Alpha. Captain, there is additional information you should review first." The terminal displayed a series of fragmented transmissions, quantum echoes captured by the Phoenix's long-range sensors during their extended journey. Maya's eyes widened as she processed what she was seeing. The transmissions were in an old Earth military code, one she recognized from her training. The messages painted a very different picture of the Scythian arrival than the one humanity had accepted. They hadn't come as diplomatic saviors, offering evacuation before an unexpected solar event. They had been systematically hunting humans across the galaxy, herding survivors into isolated pockets, manipulating historical records to hide their true intentions. "The evacuation ships," Maya murmured, the pieces falling into place. "Those weren't protective escorts. They were making sure we went where they wanted us to go." "Correct," Atlas confirmed. "Further analysis suggests the Scythians have been monitoring all human colony vessels. The Phoenix avoided detection only due to the navigation malfunction that took us off our programmed course." The final transmission displayed a set of coordinates and a single line of text. "Project Prometheus active. The fire still burns." Maya's heart raced. Project Prometheus had been theoretical, a top-secret initiative aimed at developing human potential beyond physical limitations. It had been dismissed as impossible weeks before the evacuation. "Atlas, plot a course to these coordinates," she ordered, her decision made. "And prepare a secure transmission to all human colony ships with functioning quantum receivers. Captain, if we alert other vessels, we risk detection by Scythian monitoring systems." Maya's jaw tightened. They thought they scattered us far enough to keep us from ever becoming a threat again. They were wrong. It's time humanity remembered who we really are. Dr. Eliza Chen stared at the holographic display, her scientific mind struggling to process what she was seeing. These readings can't be right. According to this data, the Scythians aren't just aliens. They're psychic parasites. Maya nodded grimly. That's why they feared us. Project Prometheus wasn't just theoretical. The files we recovered show that humans possess a unique neural configuration, potential for abilities that would have made us immune to their influence. They stood in the Phoenix's strategic command center, where Maya had assembled her core team. Dr. Chen, Commander Okafor, Chief Engineer Hiroshi Tanaka, and Communications Specialist Aisha Okoro. Outside, through the viewport, the blue crescent of Neptune glowed faintly as they approached the hidden coordinates. That's why they had to eliminate us, Okafor realized, his deep voice tight with anger. Not because we were violent or primitive, but because we were evolving, Chen finished. Given enough time, we would have developed natural defenses against their psychic manipulation. Tanaka studied the technical schematics recovered from the quantum transmissions. According to these files, Project Prometheus succeeded in creating a prototype, a device that could accelerate the development of human psychic potential, which explains why they attacked when they did, Maya said. They weren't responding to human aggression. They were eliminating a threat before it could fully emerge. Okoro, who had been monitoring the ship's approach to the coordinates, suddenly straightened. Captain, we're detecting a structure embedded in Neptune's upper atmosphere. It's massive, at least 20 kilometers in diameter. The view screen shifted, revealing an enormous platform constructed of materials that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. No external markings identified it, but Maya knew what they had found. Sanctuary, she whispered, the last bastion of free humanity. As they approached, the platform's defense systems scanned the Phoenix, and for several tense minutes, no one spoke. Then a communication channel opened, and a face appeared on the main view screen, an elderly man with dark skin and fierce eyes. This is Admiral Thomas Washington of Sanctuary Station. Identify yourselves and state your intentions. Maya stepped forward. Admiral Washington, I am Captain Maya Rise of the colony vessel Phoenix. We intercepted your transmission and came to join the resistance. Washington's expression remained guarded. The Phoenix was reported destroyed 150 years ago. How do I know you haven't been compromised? Because we know the truth, Maya replied. About Earth, about the Scythians, and about Project Prometheus. A flicker of surprise crossed the Admiral's face. After a moment, he nodded. Prepare for docking, Phoenix. Welcome to the last free human outpost in the solar system. Sanctuary was a marvel of human ingenuity, a self-sustaining habitat concealed within Neptune's turbulent atmosphere. Over 5,000 people lived aboard the station, descendants of scientists and military personnel who had suspected the Scythians' true nature and gone into hiding before the evacuation. We've been monitoring their activities for generations, Admiral Washington explained as he led Maya and her team through the station's central hub, gathering intelligence, developing countermeasures, waiting for the right moment to strike back. He brought them to a heavily secured laboratory at the heart of the station. Inside, a device unlike anything Maya had ever seen occupied the center of the room. It resembled a crystalline sphere approximately 2 meters in diameter, suspended within a complex framework of quantum processors and field generators. Project Prometheus, Washington said with evident pride, the culmination of 150 years of research and development. Dr. Chen approached the device, her scientific curiosity evident. It's beautiful. How does it work? A scientist stepped forward, Dr. Sofia Alvarez, lead researcher on the project. It creates a symmetrical quantum field that resonates with the unique neural patterns of the human brain, amplifying our natural psychic potential and accelerating our evolutionary development. But that's just the beginning, Washington added. When fully activated, Prometheus can generate a field large enough to encompass the entire solar system, affecting every human within range. awakening abilities that the Scythians have been trying to suppress for centuries. And the colonists scattered throughout nearby systems? Maya asked. The effect propagates through quantum entanglement, Dr. Alvarez explained. Any human with the genetic marker, which is approximately 98% of our species, will be affected regardless of distance. Maya studied the device, understanding dawning. This isn't just about fighting back. It's about claiming our rightful evolution. Washington nodded solemnly. The Scythians have been monitoring Earth, terraforming it for their own purposes. We believe they're preparing to move their central consciousness there, the perfect strategic location to extend their influence throughout this sector of the galaxy. And you need the Phoenix, Maya realized. Your ship is unknown to them, Washington confirmed. It can approach Earth without triggering their defense systems. We need you to deploy the quantum resonators that will extend Prometheus's field to Earth itself. Maya exchanged glances with her team, seeing the same determination reflected in their eyes. After generations of exile, of believing they were the broken remnants of a failed species, they finally had the chance to reclaim their destiny. We'll need to wake more of our crew, she said, and modify the Phoenix for combat capabilities. Washington smiled for the first time. We've been preparing for this moment for over a century, Captain. We have everything you need. In the observation deck that evening, Maya stood alone, watching the swirling clouds of Neptune through the reinforced viewport. Tomorrow they would begin preparations for humanity's most daring mission, not just a fight for survival, but a battle for their very essence as a species. The Scythians had believed humanity defeated, scattered, and broken. They were about to discover how wrong they had been. The Reckoning. The Phoenix approached Earth's orbit under full stealth protocols, its hull modified with light-absorbing materials that rendered it nearly invisible against the backdrop of space. On the bridge, Captain Maya Rice studied the tactical display with focused intensity. "Status report," she commanded. "All systems nominal," Commander Okafor replied from the tactical station. "Scythian patrol vessels maintaining standard routes. No indication they've detected us. Quantum resonators ready for deployment," Chief Engineer Tanaka added. "Field generators at optimal capacity." Maya nodded, her gaze shifting to the magnificent blue sphere before them. Earth looked pristine, more beautiful than she remembered. The continents lush with vegetation, the oceans a deeper blue than in any historical recording. But it wasn't their home anymore. The Scythians had reshaped it to their specifications, erasing all evidence of human civilization. "Begin final approach," she ordered. "Prepare for resonator deployment." The Phoenix glided silently toward a predetermined position in geosynchronous orbit above what had once been North America. According to Sanctuary's intelligence, this region contained the highest concentration of Scythian psychic networks, the perfect point to introduce the quantum disruption. "Captain," Communications Specialist Okoro called out suddenly, "I'm detecting unusual activity from the surface. Energy signatures unlike anything in our database." The main view screen shifted, zooming in on a vast crystalline structure that dominated the former Pacific Northwest. It pulsed with an inner light that seemed to follow complex, almost mathematical patterns. Dr. Chen analyzed the readings, her expression grim. "They've detected us. Those energy patterns indicate a mass consciousness awakening. They're calling their collective mind together. Time to deployment." Maya asked sharply. 3 minutes, Tanaka responded. "That's too long," Okafor warned. "Based on these readings, their defensive systems will be online in less than 2. Maya made her decision instantly. "Launch the primary resonator now. We'll have to coordinate the secondary deployments manually." She turned to Chen. "Doctor, activate the Prometheus link." Chen nodded, entering a complex sequence into her console. A soft hum filled the bridge as the quantum device they'd brought from Sanctuary powered up, creating a localized field around the Phoenix. Maya felt it immediately, a subtle expansion of awareness, as if parts of her mind previously dormant were suddenly awakening. Thoughts became sharper, sensory input more vivid. Around her, the bridge crew experienced similar effects, their movements becoming more coordinated, almost synchronized. "Resonator away," Tanaka announced. The small device, no larger than a satellite, detached from the Phoenix's underside and began its controlled descent toward Earth's atmosphere. On the tactical display, they watched its progress with collective focus. Suddenly, energy beams lanced upward from the crystalline structure below, targeting the descending resonator. "Evasive maneuvers," Maya ordered, but before Okafor could respond, something extraordinary happened. Without touching her console, communications specialist Okoro projected a counter-frequency that momentarily disrupted the Scythian targeting systems. She looked up in shock, meeting Maya's gaze. "I just thought about it," she whispered. "The Prometheus field," Chen explained, excitement in her voice. "It's working faster than expected. Our latent abilities are manifesting." On the view screen, the resonator continued its descent, evading the increasingly frantic defensive fire from below. When it reached the optimal altitude, it activated automatically, releasing a pulse of quantum energy that rippled across the planet's surface like an invisible tide. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The crystalline structures below flickered, their rhythmic pulses becoming erratic. From orbit, they could see the disruption spreading like a wave across the continents. "It's working," Tanaka breathed. "The resonator is disrupting their psychic network." But the victory was short-lived. A massive energy surge emanated from the primary structure, and the resonator's signal abruptly ceased. "They've adapted," Chen reported grimly. "They're reconfiguring their network to resist the disruption." "Deploy the remaining resonators," Maya ordered. "Spread them across all major continental structures." As the crew moved to obey, the ship shuddered violently. Warning alarms blared throughout the bridge. "Multiple Scythian vessels approaching," Okafor reported. "They've locked onto our position." Maya's mind raced, processing tactical options with newfound clarity. "Tanaka, divert power to the stealth systems. Okoro, can you use your new abilities to mask our communications?" Okoro closed her eyes, concentrating. "I think so, Captain." "Good. Okafor, prepare for evasive pattern Delta 7. As the Phoenix executed a complex series of maneuvers that should have been beyond its capabilities, Maya noticed something remarkable. The crew was functioning with unprecedented coordination, not just following orders but anticipating them, their minds linked at a subtle level through the Prometheus field. "Captain," Chen called out, "I'm receiving a transmission from Sanctuary. They've activated the main Prometheus device. The field is expanding throughout the solar system." On the tactical display, dozens of signals began appearing. Colony ships that had been hidden or dormant for generations, now converging on Earth's coordinates. The scattered remnants of humanity answering the call. "They're coming," Maya whispered. "All of them." A direct hit from a Scythian energy weapon rocked the Phoenix, sending crew members sprawling. Systems flickered, and for a moment, Maya feared they would lose everything they'd fought for. Then she felt it, a presence in her mind, not invasive but supportive. Admiral Washington's voice seemed to speak directly into her thoughts. "We're with you, Captain. All of us." Across the solar system and beyond, every human touched by the expanding Prometheus field felt the connection. Generations of suppressed potential blossomed in an instant, creating a psychic network far more complex and resilient than the artificial construct the Scythians had built. Maya stood, drawing strength from the collective consciousness now supporting her. "Deploy all remaining resonators. Target their primary command structure." As the resonators descended toward Earth, the Scythian vessels intensified their attack. But for every system damaged on the Phoenix, crew members found new ways to compensate, their awakened abilities allowing them to interface directly with the ship's technology. The final resonator reached its target, the massive crystalline structure at the heart of the Scythian network. When it activated, the quantum pulse synchronized with the human psychic network, amplifying its effect exponentially. On the surface below, the crystalline structures began to fracture, brilliant light spilling from the growing cracks. The Scythian vessels surrounding the Phoenix faltered, their coordinated attack patterns dissolving into chaos. "They're losing cohesion," Chen reported, wonder in her voice. "Their collective consciousness is breaking apart." Through the expanding human psychic network, Maya sensed the truth. The Scythians weren't being destroyed. They were being transformed. The same quantum resonance that had awakened humanity's potential was forcing a similar evolution upon them, breaking their parasitic dependency and compelling them toward a more symbiotic existence. In the midst of the chaos, a direct communication channel opened on the main view screen. The being that appeared was clearly Scythian, tall and ethereal, with iridescent skin and multifaceted eyes. But it spoke with an individual voice, something unprecedented in their species. "We concede," it said, its thoughts translating into words the humans could understand. "What you have unleashed cannot be contained." "No," Maya agreed, "it can't. And it never should have been. You feared our potential so much that you tried to erase us from existence. But in doing so, you only ensured we would return stronger." "What happens now?" the Scythian asked. Maya looked around at her crew, feeling the connection to thousands of humans throughout the solar system and beyond, all waiting for her response. "Now we reclaim our world," she said firmly, "not to destroy you, but to show you what you've been missing. The individual mind working in harmony with the collective, strength through diversity, not uniformity. That's the evolution you tried to prevent, and it's the future you'll need to accept." As the Phoenix maintained its orbit around Earth, Maya watched the beginning of a new era unfold below. Humanity was returning home, not as conquerors, but as catalysts for change. The scattered children of Earth, once believed defeated, had not only survived but transcended. And in their awakening, they had transformed not just themselves, but their enemies as well. The stars awaited a humanity reborn, no longer limited by physical constraints or artificial boundaries, but connected through a network of consciousness that spanned the galaxy. The fire of Prometheus had been lit, and this time it would never be extinguished. The Scythians had believed humanity defeated, until they returned, not just vengeful, but evolved.